Greetings, everybody. It is GleeCon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we read a chapter in Sylvanas, which probably starts to take us past Warcraft 3 material, but the story is interesting in the here and now. She rescued the undead Nathanos and has started to help him find his consciousness, his free will, to change him from a scourge into a Forsaken. And we know that she's ultimately successful from his presence in the greater World of Warcraft storyline. It's also interesting from a bigger picture because it shows you can rescue the Scourge. So if they hang on to that, I think we could have some other neat developments in the future. Stay a while and listen as we read here a mid-section interlude. There hasn't been one of these, so it's going to probably go back to some banter between Sylvanas and Anduin. And let's see how it goes. I have heard the stories of Arthas Menethil, of course, Anduin said when she had finished. I even met him, I am told. My father knew him when he was young, and he came to Stormwind when I was a baby. Father told me he was shaken when everything happened. This Arthas, this Death Knight, that was not the little boy he befriended, whose father had taken in refugees from Stormwind. Sylvanas raised an eyebrow and said flatly, People change. Yes, the youth said. They do. His blue eyes looked steadily into hers. Some of us had change forced upon us, she said. I never wanted to be as I am. I believe I made that clear. Abundantly, and you're quite right. I can think of little change in my own life that I would have desired. But Sylvanas, we can learn to adapt, to accept. Anger flared in her. What would you have me do? Remain content as an incorporeal banshee, flitting about in absolute acceptance of what a madman demanded of me? Of course not. But some of us manage to acknowledge injustice without going on killing sprees. You speak eloquently of free will, Sylvanas, so therefore I must assume that you are in control of your actions, that you choose violence and cruelty in war. How many times must I tell you, she spat. We have never had free will. He laughed without humor, angrily, his brows drawn together in an uncharacteristic scowl that made him look so very much like his father. At least take responsibility for what you've done. Did you not hear what happened at the gates of Quel'Thalas? She was almost shouting. She had rarely spoken of that day, and certainly not to anyone she did not trust deeply, which, in the end, meant only Nathanos. Part of her felt rebuffed that she had made herself vulnerable only to be chastened for an evil act she would never have willingly performed. Except that isn't true, is it? She thought. Something in her voice or her face reached him, and his brow unfurrowed. I did listen, the king said quietly, almost kindly. You have told me much I have never known, and I could hear your pain as you spoke. He rubbed his face, searching for words. I could also hear Arthas in your words. Sylvanas stiffened. For a moment she was unable to form words. Everyone underestimates you, little lion. Even me. Or is it that we overestimate you? For I would never have expected such vicious words to come from one so devoted to holy light. Though they were not meant to wound, I know they were cruel, he said. But for every incident you share with me, for every raw emotion I see on your face, whether you realize it or no, I see you are unaware of how you carry his legacy forward, now more than ever. Did you learn nothing from him, Sylvanas? You are bound again, this time eagerly, to someone who is using you to cause pain and suffering for his own ends. How dare he? So young, so certain. How dare he judge her? Of course I learned, she said, when it was happening and later. The jailer explained to me what Arthas was. A failure. Arthas was small-minded and petty, and if he had not been so terrifying in what he could do, he would have been laughable. He did not see what the jailer and I saw. He could not, and more important, he did not desire to. But his failure has paved the way for our success. The jailer and I share a vision, one that you, I would have thought, could embrace. I am his partner. We work together. Arthas, she scoffed, nothing but a useful instrument. Like me, Anduin said. His voice was soft but dangerous, almost like the warning rumble a true lion would make. She had said that, hadn't she? Close enough. You are a weapon we will use to achieve our ends. Very well, she had said it. She would not deny it, but she could continue to show him what it had taken her time to learn, if he would listen. You do not have to be, she said quietly. You can stand with us. You can help us bring about justice, not only for us, but for all. Is that not what you wish? Anduin shook his head, exasperated, angry, disbelieving. When you speak to me of these things, these aspects of you, I start to think that maybe there is a chance you truly aren't what your actions proclaim you to be. And then every single time I discover who you really are. I promised that I would speak truth to you, and I have, she said. I do not shy from what I have done. I want your understanding, not your pity. Your understanding about why I did what I did, and what I have been longing for without even realizing. I want you to see what I saw, she said, leaning forward intently, that you may embrace the jailer's plan, as I do. All right, so these are more cutscenes in their conversation from Shadowlands, which is it's cool because this is one of the only novels that really covers what's going on in the Shadowlands time period as of right now. All right, we got another episode in the pipe, 5x5. Thank you everybody so much for watching, for listening, and I will see you next time on Lore of Warcraft.